Good morning to you, KU. With me, matey Ben Allen, I be Brett Ivy.
If you're wondering what in the heck Brett's doing today, it is National Talk Like a Pirate Day today.
And if you're wondering how this pertains to your life in any way, shape, or form, if you go into any Krispy Kreme wearing anything like a pirate, you get a dozen free donuts for free. Ben, that's the greatest news I've heard in a long time.
I think you need to check your priorities there a little bit, Brett.
Maybe. Now, Ben, you know that iOS 7 came out yesterday, and apparently it's kind of a big deal. Now, I'm an Android man myself, so I can't say I know too much about it. But since you have an iPhone, what's been your experiences with it so far?
Yeah, well, it took probably about 8 hours for this to finally get configured yesterday. I know I went through the same thing pretty much everyone else did, but it was, your typical 50, 60 minutes of loading. And then finally, after that was done, you had this fun little install piece come up. And when that finally came up, you were like, oh, great, I'm all excited, this is going to happen. Right. And then after about 3 or 4 tries of a little sign coming up and saying, currently not available, you finally got this opportunity to see it loading. You see your Apple come up and everything, and you're just super excited. And, it's been pretty nice so far.
That's good. That's good. What's been your favorite new part about it? Now, what's all the new features that you've seen so far?
Well, I'm kind of lame. I'm like the 5-year-old in the room sometimes. I honestly just like the look of it. I'm a big fan of just this look that it has to it. And not saying I didn't like the old one, but it's different. When you get that new look to your phone, when you update it, it kind of feels like Christmas. You're getting that new phone. It's a new feel, and you just kind of get excited about it.
That's great. That's awesome. Now, kind of moving on to more technology news. This morning, the technology world lost one of its most important heroes.
All right, not sure exactly what that just was.
Yeah.
But the former president of Nintendo, Hiroshi Yamauchi, died today at the age of 85. He was known as the daddy of Donkey Kong and the grandfather of the Game Boy.
Ben, I owe a lot of my childhood to this man. I can't tell you how much time I spent sitting in a car, just sitting in my room, playing, Pokemon Yellow on my Game Boy, or playing, backyard football or anything, or even just playing something on the Nintendo 64. Really, this Nintendo was way too much a part of my childhood. So
yeah, and he had a bigger impact, obviously, other than just Nintendo. You realize when games were coming out, often when our parents were a kid, you just had this one-dimensional look to things. It was kind of boring. But now you're looking at games nowadays like Call of Duty and Halo that all come back to games like the original Nintendo games because they come with this idea of thinking outside of the box, and that's pretty much what this game was. I mean, who was thinking of a plumber trying to defeat his, some people say his former pet, Donkey Kong, this monkey kind of running around. Like, that was something that was totally different from the time period that was going on, and it was a real step into this modern age of looks of video games, and, he's kind of one of the godfathers of that.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I think without him, a lot of video games may not be moving forward in the direction they are today. He was partly behind the Wii, which kind of helped inspire a movement of like moving in video games and starting to become more active. So I think without Yamauchi, we would not be where we are today in the video game world, which is very cool.
And the guy even made some impact outside of that. He was the owner of the Seattle Mariners, and if you're a baseball fan, he was known as the guy who pretty much single-handedly brought in Ichiro Suzuki, who's arguably the best hitter, possibly in the history of baseball. When you're looking at a guy that has 4,000 professional hits, I mean, people will argue, obviously, a lot of names, and I'm not saying I'm arguing for him, but when you look at it, he's obviously one of the best hitters they've ever had.
Just because you're a Yankees fan doesn't mean you get to throw around one of the best hitters of all time, Ben.
You got to throw in our right fielder right now. We need all we can get.
Okay, I get you. Now, speaking of sports, Kansas volleyball will be hosting the Kansas Invitational this weekend, Ben.
Yeah, after winning the Intertown Invitational in Madison, Wisconsin, where they upset Wisconsin for that matter, the team will be trying to make a huge push to get back into the top 25 where they were last year.
That's right, Ben. This is just the beginning of a tough 5-game homestand for Kansas volleyball, as the tournament will include 3 tough teams: North Dakota State, who has yet to win a game this year; Notre Dame, who kind of sits in the middle of the pack, but they have a very tough schedule; and Georgia, who's only lost 1 game this year. If Kansas volleyball is able to beat volleyball, they may just be able to get back in the top 25 where they were at the beginning of this year. The team, who are led by seniors Brianne Riley and Caroline Jarmock, will be looking to win all 3 games this weekend. Brianne Riley even was just named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah.
So
you got to make sure that you head over to Horse Athletic, the center this weekend, and make sure you check that out, because that's going to be a big deal, and people don't give volleyball enough credit here. they're an awesome team, and they're a lot of fun to go out there and watch.
Exactly. The atmosphere over at the Horse Athletic Center is fantastic. Definitely recommend going out there. It's definitely a good time there.
And obviously sticking with some athletics here, going on from that. The big story of the NFL today is that Andy Reid, former Philadelphia head coach, is making his return tonight, but this time as, coach of the Chiefs. So how do you think that's going to go tonight, Brett?
It's going to be really tough. I'm kind of in between on this. I'm not a fan of. I am a fan of kind of both teams. Love the Chiefs because I'm from around the area, and I've just always kind of followed the Eagles. Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens back in the day. But this is going to be just a really fun game to watch. I think two incredible offenses going at it. Alex Smith and the Chiefs, Jamal Charles as well running the ball, and even Michael Vick on the other side of the ball. It's going to be really fun to watch, Ben.
And maybe I'm a little bit biased because I grew up with Michael Vick being my favorite football player.
Right.
But I just love this offense that they are running right now in Philadelphia. It's a team that is not like any other team in the NFL right now. They're basically running a play every 15 seconds. That's something that's unheard of. And Chip Kelly, who is the former Oregon coach, he brought in this and he's implementing it, and teams just can't really handle it right now in defense.
Yeah, for sure. And now, Ben, what do you think the atmosphere will be like for Andy Reid coming back to his old team?
Well, I like to use, this is something that just recently happened, but you're a Red Sox fan with baseball, I'm a Yankees fan. But I remember when, just a few days ago, when Mariano Rivera was making his final appearance per se, as the Yankees closer in Fenway Park in Boston, I was thinking to myself, what is it going to be like? Is this hero of the Yankees, the arch villain of the Red Sox, going to be received warmly, or are they going to be booing him? And I was really shocked, when the Red Sox fans stood up and, they saluted a great, essentially.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, when you have a guy who was former, the longest tenured coach, you're looking at a guy that's probably going to go to Philadelphia, and yeah, sure, he'll get some boos, but I think for the most part, it's going to be a warm reception.
It's the city of brotherly love.
Yeah.
Now, Ben, you were able to go out and do something pretty cool yesterday, weren't you?
Yeah, I was able to go out on Westcote Beach and just see some opinions on what people thought about what's going to happen tonight with the game and what they thought was going to happen with Andy Reid. You should take a look here.
Who do you think is going to win the Chiefs versus Eagles game this Thursday?
Definitely the Chiefs.
Chiefs, of course.
Chiefs.
Eagles.
The Chiefs are going to win, baby.
The Chiefs are going to win.
Chiefs, dare.
I think the Chiefs are going to win. I think Andy Reid, he knows the Eagles. He knows most of their players. I think that gives the Chiefs a leg up.
I really don't care. I'm a Broncos fan.
Do you think that Andy Reid's going to get some boos going back to Philadelphia?
I think he's going to get a lot of love, actually. I know Philly's generally a tough city, but I think they're going to respect him.
Who's Andy Reid? He might get some boos, but he's going to get some cheers. It might be a mixed reception, but who cares? Chiefs are going to win.
That'll do it for this segment, but when we return, Ben will sit down with national champion Taylor Washington. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Well, welcome back. We're here with national champion on the women's track team, Taylor Washington. Taylor, how are you doing today?
Good, nice to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for coming again on. It's great to see you and have you here.
No problem.
All right, Taylor, so take us through last year. How crazy was that national championship run last year?
It was so amazing, just to win, be there with great teammates and great athletes. At the beginning of the year, we had a team meeting, and we were just like, if everyone does their part, we can do this. It's not, impossible. We just have to work hard every day. And it was nice coming to practice and seeing people working hard, just to know that at the end of the year, what we all wanted the same things, one team, one goal. And at the end of the year, just going to nationals every day and competing to the best of our ability. By the end of the meet, we knew we had it in the bag, and it was just amazing to hear them on the announcement saying Kansas track and field, the women's, was the national champions.
Was winning the Big 12 something that kind of pushed you guys into it, that you're like, we can do this?
Most definitely. Coming in indoor, we won it. Going outdoor, we won it. So we're just now we want something new. We want something bigger. And I think we all wanted to achieve that, and I think that's what made it happen.
So obviously you've been very successful here at KU, but when did this all start? When did you start running?
Taking it seriously my junior year in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, just I need to get out of Houston. I want to, do bigger things and just train my butt off, and now I'm here.
Now, you're from Texas, and you went to high school with Diamond as well. What was that like?
Yes. People say we're the dream team. High school and college, and I think it's actually really cool to go to school with someone who I consider myself really close with on and off the track. So it's cool. Our chemistry's there, and we've had it since high school, and I think that actually carried into college. And
was that fun with the recruiting process when both you guys are getting looked at?
Yeah.
Did you guys think that you might try to go together? Or?
I think kind of. Coach Redwine is a great coach, so no, we didn't want to turn him down, and we love the school and the program. So.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing after you graduate here? Like, what
Yeah.
are you going to be doing?
Planning on moving to Florida to train there professionally. So pray for me, guys. More running to come.
Do you know what events you're going to try to do?
Looking at the 4 and the 800.
The 4 and the 800.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. So obviously you're graduating at the semester, correct?
End of the year.
Oh, end
May.
of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got the full year left, and obviously you've had some great experiences. But who's the favorite athlete you've met in your time here at Kansas?
I'd probably have to say Ben McLemore.
Ben.
Yeah.
What was he like?
He was a really cool, down-to-earth guy, super humble, and really nice to hang out with. So.
That's a really good thing. So obviously, this is the last year. What is going to be like the favorite memory? What's that going to be the thing that you're going to miss the most?
I think just all of the student oriented activities like football games, basketball games, volleyball. Hanging out with teammates and classmates. So.
That's fantastic.
All of it.
So obviously, the big talk around everywhere right now is this new iOS 7, and obviously, I know you're an iPhone user. What are your opinions on it so far?
So far, I love it. Pride to my phone right now. But the new camera apps, the iRadio.
Oh, I haven't used that yet. What's that like?
Kind of like Pandora.
Oh.
So now you don't even need Pandora. It's just iRadio
Now,
all the time.
Are there commercials going on?
Yeah, and it's kind of censored. But other than that, it's perfect.
Okay, so other than that, it's a pretty good thing. And
Yeah.
You're a football fan, right?
Yeah.
So
huge.
we were just talking about that game tonight. What do you think is going to go on with the Chiefs and Eagles game tonight?
It's going to be a tough call, but I'm going for the Eagles. Then we'll see how they do. Like Mike Vick, like you were saying, just outstanding player, and their offense right now is really good. So.
Do you have a score? What do you think the score will be?
I don't have a score, but I'm going to say at least up 7.
Up 7?
Yeah.
Well,
touchdown.
Taylor, thank you so much for coming on with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And we hope to have you on the show again soon, and hopefully you have a good rest of the year.
Thank you.
When we return, Riley will be on with the news. Stay tuned.
The motive for Aaron Alexis's rampage at the Washington Navy Yard on Monday remains unclear. Alexis left a noticeable trail of red flags. His record shows 8 charges of misconduct since 2004. In 2004, he fired a Glock into 2 tires of a Honda Accord near a Seattle home. In 2008, he was kicked out of an Atlanta nightclub and arrested for disorderly conduct. In 2010, he was arrested for firing a bullet through his ceiling. Senator John McCain delivered a scathing attack on Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday in the online newspaper Pravda. The Arizona Republican declared himself to be pro-Russian but described Putin as a quasi-dictator who rules by corruption, repression, and violence. One lucky winner matched all 6 numbers in the latest Powerball drawing for an estimated $400 million jackpot. The Multi-State Lottery Association says the winning numbers selected Wednesday night were purchased in South Carolina. And finally in sports, the Royals took 2 out of 3 from the Cleveland Indians this week. With 10 games remaining, they still sit in 5th place for the 2 wild card spots. We're going to go to a quick break, and after that, we'll be right back with Ben and Brett.
Hey guys, and welcome back. So Ben, we have a game coming up on Saturday against Louisiana Tech. KU is trying to get another win in the season after losing to Rice. What's your thoughts heading into the game?
Well, they're going to be facing another 1-1 team, and much like us, they don't really have much of a passing attack yet. The running game's working pretty well, but it's not going to be the game that's going to be the flashiest game you've ever seen. This isn't going to be Oklahoma State playing, even K-State for that matter. It's not going to be this, back and forth kind of action. It's probably going to be a slower game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for sure. Louisiana Tech has a big defense. It'll be very tough for Weiss and the boys to try to get an offensive plan together. But I think it's going to be a close game. But I think KU's going to pull out a win. But Ben, do you have a score prediction?
I think I'm going to have to go 28-24. Still putting hope in our boys.
28-24. Ben Allen, you heard it here first. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Be sure to check out Good Morning KU every morning at 10 a.m. and also be sure to check out the premiere of The Breakdown starting tomorrow at 11. Thanks for tuning in, folks. For Ben Allen, I'm Brett Ivy. Have a good morning.
Arg.